Greetings, friends. I'm AK,
And I'm Laura,
and we are
the
the
Chainsaw
Chainsaw
Girls.
Girls.
On today's episode, I am so freaking excited to be covering a newer movie. Was this a you recommendation or was this a me recommendation?
I feel like it was an us recommendation.
Okay, perfect. We are covering 2021's The Black Phone.
I saw this movie in theaters when it first came out, and I remember really enjoying it then, but I have such a new appreciation for it now after writing down all my notes and breaking it down scene by scene. Like, when you see something for the first time, little things are just going to fly over your head, right? And now, I love it.
Yeah, I actually did not see it when it came out. I don't know why. I heard it was good, but I don't know. I think I was like traveling a lot at the time. But in any event, when I just watched it, I won't lie to you, like I could only watch it one time. I really, really, really enjoyed it, like a lot. I think it's great. The child abuse was really upsetting for me, so
Yeah.
I had to pause it at certain times and come back and watch it. So I'm kind of glad that I
Mhm.
didn't see it in theaters and I gave myself a chance to like process it while I was watching it, which I know sounds so dramatic, but if you've seen this movie,
It's not.
you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. It's pretty heavy, but I also fucking love it. Like I think it's really, really good.
Yeah, so there's your little trigger warning right there for child abuse. It is condensed to the most upsetting scene is one scene, I will say that. But the theme is throughout the movie, right? And another little fun fact about this movie, I guess that wasn't a fun fact, so I shouldn't say another fun fact, but another thing about this movie in relation to the podcast is that we were actually going to cover this movie for our last movie of 2025. We ended up pushing it back a little bit.
Mhm.
And then in January, we wanted to do our zombie loop. And then we did Black History Month, of course, for February. So now we're finally covering the Black Phone, the first one.
Yes, we're finally here. And I think that the idea was we were going to cover it because the new one was coming out. We were like, this is perfect timing. And then it just
Yes.
did not work.
Yeah.
So
Should we read the IMDb? Sorry. Go ahead.
The Black Phone was directed by Scott Derrickson. He directed The Exorcism of Emily Rose. Did you ever see that? I
Yes.
really liked it. And
Yeah, that one was
Sinister.
actually sinister. I remember too. Yeah. Emily Rose, if I'm remembering correctly, that one was actually like really scary, right?
Yeah. It's a good possession
Yeah.
movie. It's super scary. Yeah. It was also written by Joe Hill, Scott Deckerson, and C. Robert Cargill. It had a budget of 16 to 18 million and it grossed 161.4 million in the box office. That's crazy.
Yeah, it did very well. There is a sequel, Black Phone 2. It's interesting because the first one is The Black Phone, but the sequel is Black Phone 2. There's no the.
Mhm.
I don't know why I found that very fascitating.
I didn't
I
realize
hyperfixate on like the dumbest details sometimes.
no, I didn't even realize it was called The Black Phone until I just kind of tidied my notes up before the episode and I went, "Oh, it's the
The Black Phone,
Black Phone."
yes.
Shall I read IMDb?
Please do.
Okie dokie. After being abducted and locked in a basement, a boy starts receiving calls on a disconnected phone from the killer's previous victims.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie is a little supernatural. Or
Hmm.
maybe a lot supernatural, I should say.
Yeah, it is. I heard the second one is more so than the first one.
Yeah, I did watch the second one. I actually watched it in the last couple months, which we'll talk about at the end or in the extended.
Okay.
Our
Sounds.
Patreon extended, by the way.
Oh, we love that. Do you have any tidbits or do you want to just hop right into the episode?
I'm ready to hop right in and right on. Wait, we'll just go with it. Strap in and strap on. That's what I want to say.
You got there.
They both sound wrong, but it's okay. All right.
Here we go.
So we open up the movie on a kids' baseball game. We are in North Denver, Colorado, 1978. All right, we in the 70s, baby. The aesthetic that I like a little more than the 60s, to be honest with you.
Hmm.
And we meet 13-year-old Finn. He's pitching for this baseball team. And we see his little sister, Gwen, cheering him on. She's about 11, so they're close in age.
Hmm.
He gets 2 strikes on this kid, okay? It's all tense. The crowd's cheering. The kid that's at bat, his name is Bruce. And I love playing baseball as a kid. You didn't play, did you?
Oh,
I
Lord,
think we
no.
talked about that.
Yeah, no, I didn't play
You
sports.
said, oh no.
Gosh, no.
I played baseball and I played softball. Baseball is actually how I broke my collarbone, which is stupid because baseball is not supposed to be a full contact sport, but here we are.
Ouch.
So it's the last pitch. Bruce hits this ball out of the park. It's a home run. And Finn reminds me so much of my brothers when they were that age. Like even how he looks. I think one of my brothers actually looks like him or looked like him when he was a kid. So it felt so nostalgic for me, even more so. So Bruce tells Finn after the game, "Your arm is mint. You almost had me." And now we see Bruce riding through town on his bike. The girls are flirting with him. Free Ride is playing. And we see Finn later playing with a rocket in the park. The summer of 78, baby. And then a black van pulls up. We cut to the opening credits. Okay, tell me these opening credits reminded you of the opening of American Horror Story.
Oh, yeah, I could see that. Uh-huh.
There's a lot of cuts to different images that some look normal for summertime, some look creepy, some look like they're just unsettling. You don't really understand what's happening. The music is very creepy.
There's, like,
It was
real
so
footage,
AHS.
right? There's, like, real footage, there's missing children's posters.
Right.
It really to be honest, it kinda reminded me of, like, those, like, shows in the '90s, like, what was the one, America's Most Wanted, where there were because, like, in the beginning, you would see, like, all the missing persons posters and shit like that.
Yeah.
That's kinda what it reminded me of. Really
Yeah.
unsettling, like,
That's
unsettling imagery.
exactly.
Mhm.
So now we cut to the home of Finn and Gwen. We meet their father in the kitchen.
Yes, this is Terrence, and he's played by Jeremy Davies. Terrence is a huge piece of shit, which we will find out very soon, but Jeremy Davies plays him incredible. Like, he's a great actor.
He does a great job.
Yeah.
Yes. Right now, we just see that he's overly annoyed at how Finn is slurping his cereal.
Mhm.
And Gwen comes in, she opens the bread box, which kind of bangs a little, and everyone winces. So you can already tell this whole household is walking on eggshells.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely. Dad looks very irritated, and I don't know, like right away, like when she makes that loud noise, she apologizes to him, and it's in a way
Mhm.
that's just so like she's terrified of him. She's scared.
Yeah.
And it's like so like to me as soon as like you can just tell right away that he's abusive. You know what I mean? It's just like
Yes,
paints a pretty
exactly.
clear picture here.
So now Finn and Gwen are walking to school. They see missing posters for Bruce Yamada.
Mhm.
And Finn is asking Gwen if she thinks that they're going to find him. And she says, not how they want to. So right off the bat, you're like, wait, what?
Mhm.
Like, how, what do you mean by that?
Mhm.
And so they hear a fight happening. This fight is between a bully named Moose and Robin, one of our faves,
Yes,
who is much smaller
Mig-
with his little bandana
with
on.
his little bandana. This is Miguel Mora. He's awesome. Oh, I love
So
Robin.
awesome.
I love Robin.
Me too. Moose calls Robin a slur, and Robin beats the shit out of him, even though he's a lot smaller.
Yeah.
He straight up hits a wrestling move on him. It almost looked like it was a modified neck breaker, but turned into like a face plant. He almost does, honestly. If you ever watch one of my matches, it almost looks like my finisher,
Yes.
but it's out of a neck breaker instead of on the shoulder. So I know we have a lot of wrestling fans who listen. In the YouTube comments, tell us, what would you call this move? I want to know.
Yeah, yeah. He also doesn't he like spin kick him too? It's pretty great.
He probably does, yeah. There's a little fight scene, and he literally gets on top of Moose and starts punching him in the face until he's bleeding.
Yeah, he just kicks the shit out of him. It's awesome.
Yeah, like I'm not condoning violence, but I do condone standing up for yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
And Finn kind of seems upset by this, and Gwen, I was gonna say Finn and Gwen. Gwen is telling him, Moose is an asshole and he had it coming, and also reminds him of the time that Moose made Finn's nose bleed. But Finn is like, I don't want to talk about it.
Mhm.
And she says Robin is the toughest kid since the grabber got Pinball Vance. And Finn doesn't want to hear about that either. He doesn't want to hear the name the grabber. And she's like, that's what they're calling him, even in the papers.
Mhm.
He's just, you can tell he's upset about all of this and doesn't want to talk about it. And we learn here that Finn might be a little bit of a chicken, according to his sister.
Yeah, and I think, you kind of see Gwen is more of like she has a little bit more of the fire here. I think she just naturally is a little bit more I don't want to say confrontational but she just has that fighter sort of instinct I think in her.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, probably because of her home situation.
Yeah.
Uh whereas I think Finn he doesn't have the confidence to stand up for himself.
She has a lot of confidence.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
does.
At
As
least out in school, it seems
yeah,
that way.
I
Like the exterior.
yeah, I was gonna say like I don't even know if confidence is it. It's like almost fearlessness, but she shouldn't have to be. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's like
Yeah.
she has this like bravery about her, and it's like another reason why it's so tragic is like,
Yeah.
she has to have it in a way. You know what I mean?
Right. She definitely does.
Mhm.
So the next day, we see that Finn has a little crush on this girl in class. This is Donna. Okay,
Mhm.
this is just something we're seeing in passing. And then after class, this group of kids follows Finn into the bathroom. He like speed walks into the bathroom because he notices them. He hides in a stall. These bullies follow him in there and convince him to come out. They're being such little pieces of shit.
I hate him.
And then Robin comes into the bathroom.
Yes.
And Robin says hi to Finn. He starts washing the blood off of his hands, just kind of talking about the fight. He's such a little badass.
Yeah.
He tells the kids to leave. He talks shit to them. Is like, you can leave now,
Yeah.
which I loved.
Yeah.
He tells Finn, you're going to have to stand up for yourself one day.
Mhm.
And he basically tells him that he needed to draw blood for the crowd. Because Finn's like, why'd you do that to him, basically?
Yeah.
And he's like, I had to draw blood for the crowd. That's so funny to me. Like, like he's a wrestler
I was
doing a
just gonna
wrestling
say it's
show.
so pro wrestling, like, so pro
Yeah.
wrestling.
And then they talk about Texas Chainsaw Massacre because Robin's uncle took him to go see it.
Mhm.
And Finn says it's rated R, so his dad would never. Relatable, except my mom is the one that would have never taken me. My dad 100% would have let me see it. And we also learn here that Finn is tutoring Robin after school. And Robin is looking out for him.
Yeah, for sure. He definitely has his back. So we're going to cut to the school, and Gwen is called into the office to talk to a couple of detectives. So here we're going to meet Detective Wright, played by E. Roger Mitchell, and Detective Miller, who's played by Troy Rudesill. I hope that's how you pronounce it. But they're questioning Gwen if she is friends with a girl named Amy, the kid named Amy. And they're questioning her because she told Bruce's sister that she had a dream about him. So Amy is
Right.
Bruce's sister. Okay.
Yep.
And so basically, Gwen told Amy that she had a dream about Bruce. Okay. That's the long and short of it. So they're questioning her about it, right? She says the dream was really weird. Bruce was taken by a man with black balloons and a van. Okay. And now they're kind of like grilling her over this. And it
Hmm.
is like, it's odd because she's clearly like 11 or 10 and they're like
Right.
grilling this 11 year. I mean, I guess it was the 70s, uh but anyways, they tell her that they found two black balloons at the scene of Bruce's
Yeah.
abduction. Okay, so now we're starting to find out here that potentially either Gwen has information she's not sharing or she is having some kind of psychic dreams, right? That's what they're hinting at for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It is weird that she has a detail that was never released, right?
Yeah, I think that's
So,
why they're like grilling her,
yeah.
right?
I think they think that she knows who did it maybe and that she heard they're trying to follow any lead they can basically,
Right.
but she's so sassy about it. Like the way she comes at them is so funny.
That's great. She has no fear, like at all.
Yeah, at one point she calls them dumb fucking fart knockers.
Yes, yes, I wrote that in my notes too.
Yeah. She's like, "Oh, you think I did it? Yeah, I'm the one that kidnapped them." Like she does get very aggressive right off the bat, but I understand why she's also frustrated.
Yeah.
But anyway, one of the detectives does ask her, "What aren't you telling us?" And she does say that sometimes my dreams are right.
Mhm.
I love this detail. I love that they gave Gwen premonitions in her
Me
dreams.
too. I loved it too. Yes. Yes.
So, walking home, the bullies are watching Finn, but they're not doing anything because remember, Robin will beat the shit out of them if they do. And we see that Gwen is going to her friend's house, so they part ways. At home, Finn is taking the beer bottle out of his dad's hands, who passed out in his chair.
Mhm.
He gets some ice cream, starts watching The Tingler 1959, Vincent Price Baby.
Mhm.
And Finn is really scared of this movie, but he's trying to be quiet because his dad is drunk and passed out in the recliner. Because remember, this is a household of fear. And also, we see here that Finn is a little bit, I don't want to say a scaredy cat, but that's kind of what they're building up here is that he's a little chicken, right?
Yeah, no, he is for sure. And it's okay. Did you do any research on the Tingler? I fell down a Tingler rabbit hole.
Oh, I want to hear it.
Okay, it's
I love Vincent Price.
okay, yeah. Oh my gosh, me too, me too. So, it was directed by William Castle. Okay, he directed House on Haunted Hill and 13 Ghosts, the OGs, right?
Hmm.
He loved gimmicks. He loved gimmicks. Okay.
Yes.
And he made
Yes.
okay, he made a lot of films independently and financed them himself, okay? And one of them was The Macabre, and it came out in 1958. And basically, it's crazy. He gave every customer a certificate for $1,000 life insurance policy from Lloyd's of London in case they should die of fright during the film.
Amazing.
He had nurses stationed in the lobbies and hearses parked outside the theater. Like,
That's
if you
amazing.
wanna go down a fun rabbit hole, guys, go down William Castle because it was a fun ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about William Castle a little bit in the 13 Ghosts episode, the remake of 13 Ghosts,
Yes.
and it's so funny that you should say that because my brain just went, "Wait, another movie we're covering this loop is gonna talk a lot about gimmicks like that," and I'm very excited about it.
Ooh, me too. I love it. Okay.
Okay, so, sorry to burst your bubble, but the next scene is gonna be very upsetting. So this is
Mhm.
your trigger warning.
Mhm.
So in the morning, the dad is literally beating Gwen with a belt in the kitchen because cops came to his work to ask him about Gwen and her dreams. He doesn't want cops at his work. He's very upset about it. She grabs his bottle of vodka and threatens to break it if he hits her again. She ends up dropping it anyway, and he just throws her on the ground, starts hitting her. Finn is screaming from the kitchen door, but not interfering. So once again, showing him not fighting back, right? He tells Gwen, "You're not your mother. You do not see things. Your dreams are just dreams." And he forces her to repeat, "My dreams are just dreams." I know just saying what happens, just like, cut and dry, is I can tell you it's a lot less upsetting than what the scene actually depicts. She is sobbing and her performance is so realistic. It is so much more upsetting.
Oh, this is where I paused it. I had to turn it off
Yeah.
here. It was too
Yeah, I
much.
don't blame you.
Yeah, it was a little too
But the
much.
good news is there are no more scenes like that, just so you know.
No, there aren't any more scenes that to that degree.
Yeah.
No, but the themes of it just carries on through
Yes.
the whole thing, and the whole time you're left with this sort of awful, gritty, icky feeling.
Yes, correct.
Mhm.
So Finn is just angrily looking at his dad from the doorway. Finn and Gwen go to sit by the TV. I think they're watching Gumby, and she
No,
rests her head.
they're not watching Gumby. They're
Is it
not.
not Gumby?
It's Davy and Goliath.
What?
Dude, okay. I'm so
Did
glad
you
you
think
brought
it
it
was
up.
did you think it was Gumby?
I had no idea what it was, but I had to find
Okay.
out.
Wow. I was sure. I was like, that has to be Gumby. I wasn't even gonna look into
Dude,
it.
dude, it's called Davy and Goliath. It was a Christian claymation show from, like, the
It's the
'60s to
claymation
the
that
'70s, right?
okay.
And s
That's what got me, the
the
claymation.
claymation, right. Okay, so Davy is a boy and Goliath is his talking dog, alright? And the gist
Okay.
the gist of the show is that the characters find themselves in situations where they must rely on God and their faith, obviously. Very Christian. But the episode specifically that they're watching is episode 11 called Polka Dot Tie, and the plot basically centers around Davy and his friends, and initially they were kind of, like, excluding this new kid, Nat, because of his unusual tie, but eventually they realize that judging others is no good and that everyone is accepted regardless of their tie choices. So that's the episode they were watching.
I love that you have the deep dive on that. I'm like, "Hell
Dude, I
yes."
had to. I was like, "What is this weird show?"
I for sure was like, "Oh, it's Gumby." It's because of the claymation, but, that ties in too because we'll find out in a minute that Gwen, it's a Christian household, right? So
Yes.
she does pray,
Yes.
and also something else you just said, I was like, "Wait a minute, that ties in," and it left me. Damn it. Okay, I just remembered what I was thinking, and it's so stupid. Is that the commercial? You might not even know the answer. I'm gonna Google it for, like, the extended.
Okay.
I think is that the commercial or the claymation talking dog that they used to use in, like, one of the Mountain Dew commercials or something that was like, "You got hosed, Davy." Do
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
no.
I think it is because I remember going, "What the fuck is
It
this?"
probably is
I'm
if
gonna
they're if he's saying Davy.
I might just be adding that.
Oh,
We're gonna look it up in the extended,
okay.
so if you wanna join us on Patreon, we're gonna Google some stuff live. Anyway,
I love this. Okay, so yeah, Gwen rests her head on Finn. It's so heartbreaking. Like it's just
yeah.
gut-wrenching, man.
Yeah, she does such a fantastic job, and it's great and sad, you know?
Yeah, it's really, really sad. Okay, so we're gonna cut to Robin, who's walking alone outside of what kind of looks like a warehouse. We see the black van. Great. And a man wearing a cape. Perfect. Step out and approach Robin as he walks towards him. The guy in the cape is like kind of blurred out as he approaches Robin in like slow motion, which is
Yeah,
just so
the
unsettling.
They do a lot of these slow motion scenes where you're not hearing the audio of what's happening in the scene. It's just like a creepy sound, and then, yeah, it plays out in slow motion. They do that a lot.
Yeah, it's almost like that thing of like, you know when they try to when someone gets hit in the head and like your ears start ringing in TV shows? Like that's the
Yeah.
vibe.
Yeah. Or like a surreal moment.
Yeah. Yeah, it's real
Mhm.
exactly. So then we cut to the sound of phones ringing, right? And the show Emergency is playing, which Finn and Gwen are watching. Dad gets off the phone with someone and he looks very serious. He goes into the living room and he asks the kids if they know Robin.
Mhm.
And Finney tells him that's his friend. And then his dad kind of looks at him for a minute and then just sort of walks away. I fucking hate this
Yeah.
guy so much. Like he sucks. Like he
I
just
also thought it was funny that he struggled to say Robin's last name. He was like, "Robin Art," and his last name is just Ariano.
he sucks.
I just thought that was an interesting little detail to add for this guy, you know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah. He absolutely sucks.
So later that night, Finn asks Gwen, "Please try harder and try to see what happened to Robin in your dreams." And she tells him it doesn't work that way, number one,
Mhm.
and that she's obviously already been trying.
Mhm, mhm.
So she goes to her room, she opens up her dollhouse, she grabs a cross, her little Bible, a picture of Mary, she lines up all of her religious items. The dollhouse was interesting. I think she's just storing the items in there, maybe.
Oh, she's hiding
'Cause-
them from her dad for sure.
Okay. And so maybe her mom was Christian, and then I don't know. But she opens up the dollhouse every time she prays.
I think it's interesting that she leans into her faith a lot in it.
Hmm.
So I think like the whole family is probably religious, but the mother was the only one that had the visions and stuff. And I
Right.
think she hides all that shit from her dad in that dollhouse because he is so psychotic when it comes
Yeah.
to her having any kind of gift. I just anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So she's holding this little metal cross and she's asking Jesus to help her have a dream or two to help her find Robin.
Mhm.
She rushes back to bed when she hears her dad walking down the hall, once again, walking on eggshells. Thankfully, he just thinks she was playing with her dollhouse and says, "No playing after lights out, go to sleep." But you can see how stressed she is even as he approaches the door.
Mhm. Yeah, and he also
And
tells her that he loves her. Like, "Okay, buddy, you're really doing a bang up job."
it's the only good thing he did, and she,
Fuck.
she's like, "I love you too."
Like, conveying
But
that strongly, you piece of shit.
can you show it with your actions, please?
Ugh.
So the next morning, the detectives show up to the house. The dad is obviously not thrilled.
Mhm.
But now they want to consult with Gwen to see if her dreams can help them
Yeah.
because she says she's having them. One of them was right. Why not? They have no leads.
Right? And there's, like,
And there's
really
another child.
there's, like, eerie
Oh, what?
music and shit playing.
Yeah. There's another child missing. They need some kind of lead. It's the slow motion scene again.
Yeah.
But Gwen is sitting on the couch with these detectives, and the dad is standing over her. And you can just tell, even though there's no audio, it's just that creepy music and slow motion. You can tell she's not really helping them with anything. I also don't think she had a dream yet, but still, she's just kind of like shaking her head no because her dad is watching
Yeah,
her.
she's scared. She's scared.
Yeah,
He's obviously going to hurt her again, you know? So why
right,
would she tell them anything?
right. Also, in the creepy slow motion, we see that the bullies, now that Robin is gone, are chasing and beating up Finn.
Mhm.
Gwen comes running in with a rock, calling them ugly ass faces, amongst other things. Oh my gosh, she smashes one of them in the head and he sits along the fence. He is bleeding a lot. I
Oh,
was like,
yeah.
is he gonna die?
Oh, yeah, yeah. She just starts fighting, man. She fights like the boys. Like, she gets right in there to save her brother.
Yeah. And they're outnumbered still. So Gwen starts getting beat up.
Ugh.
She gets kicked and ends up sitting next to the other guy along the fence. It reminds me of a tournament. Like, I don't know, and like
Yes.
some school tournament where it's like, all right, you're out, go sit along the
Or
wall.
also, like, you get your ass beat so bad that, like, you're not even mad at the person next to you anymore, even though they're your enemy. You're just like, "Well, we're both fucked, so"
Yeah. We're too injured right now.
Yeah.
They're tagging out. Finn is still getting jumped, unfortunately.
Mhm.
I think a lot of people worry about their child being bullied, but I don't think enough people worry about their child being the bully,
Oh, 1,000,000% yes. 100%
you
yes.
know? If I found out my child was a bully,
Oh. Oh my
I don't even know. I don't even know because I don't have kids, but
crazy. I don't know. I just think about, like, my niece getting bullied, and I honestly, it's like I can't even see straight. I get filled with
yeah,
rage.
yeah,
Like,
for
that's my
sure.
baby girl.
We cut to Finn in class with a bruised face. They have to dissect a frog. and
Oh,
they have
I
to pick a
opted out of
partner.
that. I opted out of that in high school. It's like,
We never had to do I don't think we had to do the
it
frog,
was a
but I do remember
pig.
having to do,
It was a pig at our
I
school.
think, a little pig,
Yeah.
and I think a cow eyeball.
Yeah, no, I opted out for all of that.
And if you stab it the wrong way, like, juice shoots out,
Nah,
no.
we're good. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm okay. I don't ever plan on dissecting anything in my life, so we're all right.
Well, they have to pick a partner, so Finn's crush comes up to ask him if he wants a partner.
Mhm,
Donna, once again from earlier, she heard about the fight and she thinks the other guys are assholes.
mhm.
So she comes to, in a way, it seems like she's coming to comfort Finn, to
Yeah.
be like, "Yeah, I heard about what happened. Like, I feel sorry for you, but not in like a pitiful way, you know?"
No, she likes him. Yeah.
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 So on the way home, Gwen is teasing Finn about Donna, like, "Donna, Donna."
Mhm.
And she's gonna go her separate ways again and go to her friend's
Oh,
house.
yeah,
So Finn,
Susie's, right?
Susie's house,
Yes.
yeah.
Mhm.
And so Finn is gonna walk down a side street alone.
Oh, boy.
As he's walking, he sees a black van parked by the sidewalk that says Abracadabra Entertainment on the side.
Oh, God.
Out comes a man who stumbles and drops a box. He's in all black, like a button up shirt,
Oh,
jeans or
dude,
slacks,
he looks
hat.
so fucking, like, creepy.
Yeah. Hat, glasses, almost looks like he has white makeup on his face, but you don't really get a good look. He has longer hair, like not a bowl cut. I can only describe it as like the 90s heartthrob haircut, like the parted, like
Yeah.
down to your,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know,
Absolutely, and it's like
the Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
JTT, baby. I had a poster of JTT on my wall. Come on, he was hot
I
back
probably
then.
did too.
Oh, yeah, he was smoking. Does he have a top hat too? Did we mention his hat?
He has a hat, but I didn't get a good look at what it was, but I assume it is that same top hat, right? Or like
Yeah.
the little,
Yeah, I
is
think
it a
so.
top hat?
Yeah, because he's a magician, right? Isn't that the gimmick?
Why
I
was I
hate
thinking? I'm like,
magicians
I was
freak me
thinking
out, man. I do not fucking like magicians. Oh, yeah, we
for
talked
some
about this.
reason I was picturing a top hat being like really, really long, and I'm like, what's a shorter one called?
Like, you're talking like the Mad Hatter?
Yes, yes. That's why I was like, is it a top hat? Yes, it is a top
I think
hat.
he's a top hat.
Anyway,
Yeah, mhm. I don't know. I
so
think so.
he tells Finn he's a part-time magician. Would you like to see a magic trick? And Finn's like,
No,
sure.
no,
If
Finn, no.
you
You always say no when the fucking magician
I
asks you,
know,
you always say no.
but it's the
They're
70s.
so weird.
Also, if you didn't know, you would never guess that this is Ethan Hawke.
I know. First of all, Ethan
Never.
Hawke, if you're watching YouTube, you can see the
You
smile on my
know,
face, you know.
the little winks. Uh, People are gonna be like, "What do you mean by that?" She's saying he's hot.
Mhm.
Just to be
It's
clear.
Ethan Hawke, come on. Like, let's be real here. As the grabber though, ew. Ew with a capital
Yes,
E, man. Fucking ew.
yes. He
Ew.
did such a great job being a fucking
Oh
creep.
yeah. Oh yeah.
So Finn, as the who we'll find out is the grabber, is doing magic tricks. Finn notices, are those black balloons in the back of your van? And he says, yeah. And he opens his trunk, grabs Finn, sprays something into his mouth to knock him out, tosses him into the van, releasing the balloons into the air. This is in broad daylight, y'all.
I think that makes it
Terrifying.
even scarier. And
Yes.
I don't know if you felt this way, but like, I don't know, like as a child of the 80s, like stranger danger, kidnappings, like those were real scary, like frightening things that we were kind of was like drilled into our head that we could get abducted at any fucking moment, even in broad daylight. Like, do you remember that?
Especially in the late 90s, especially because I'm thinking of like the Dare programs and stuff. Do you have Dare in Canada?
Yeah, we have Dare. Yeah. I just remember like in the 90s, like
Yeah.
it was like, yeah, like you really did have a fear that someone was gonna grab you and pull you into their fucking car or their van.
Yeah, and it was a lot of the stuff that happened during the
Oh,
70s
yeah,
when
no,
everyone was like, "Yeah,
100%.
I'll hitchhike. Let's
Sev
go hitchhiking, no problem."
70s, 80s, and, like, you know, they didn't take missing persons as seriously back then, you know? Like, they just
Yeah. They
didn't.
still don't, unfortunately. I
Unfortunately, they
hate
don't.
the rules about you have to wait a certain amount of time when parents are telling you, "I know my child would have been home at this time."
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Good luckily, at least in this movie, we see that, they do take it pretty seriously
Oh, they
once a
do.
child is missing.
For sure, for sure. Yeah.
Then again, they know there's a serial kidnapper on the loose
Y
at the very least.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, these are not runaways, like, come on.
Yeah,
The fact that there's so many like runaways, like they're not like, you
right.
know, come on. Like I'm sure
Yeah.
some kids ran away, but like they didn't all
Sure.
run away. Like
Oh my gosh, one time I threatened to run away, I don't even know what for. I was probably, like, 7 or younger,
Yeah.
and I remember telling my dad I was gonna run away, and he's like, "Alright." And I remember I had this little DuckTales bag,
Oh, DuckTales, cute.
like a little duffel, and I put who knows what in there, like,
Aw,
probably clothes and not even, like, matching clothes, just like, like, I just knew I had to pack a bag, and
aw.
I left, and I walked down the street, and this is the '90s, so my dad's like, "Alright, see ya, like, good luck with your running away." And I got, like, 5 houses down, and I just sat on the sidewalk, and then I went home.
Aw, you know what though? You made a point. You said, "I'm gonna
I
go and
did.
try," and you did.
Yeah, I was like, "You think I'm lying? I am gonna leave." I did, but then I came back.
Little baby
And luckily I
AK.
didn't, but that's scary too because imagine I just started walking around the block, like, was my dad ever gonna come get me? Maybe he was watching from down the street, I don't know.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know.
I don't know, I can't how old were you?
I would have been 7 or younger,
I
so
d
that's pretty young.
That's pretty young. That's pretty young. Yeah, that's really, really young.
Yeah. But I don't know. I just like to think, "Ah, no, he was watching me, he was
Oh,
watching
I'm
me.
sure he was. I'm
It was the
sure he
'90s, I
was.
don't know."
I'm sure he
But
was.
anyway,
Okay.
the grabber is carrying Finn down into a basement
Oh,
while
fuck.
Finn is sort of yeah, while Finn is sort of coming to,
Mhm.
and the grabber tells him, "I should snap your neck for what you did to my arm," because he did fight back. Finn did fight back a little bit here.
Yeah.
He scratched him with this little tool that he has. It looks like a little spaceship, like the rocket that he was playing with, but it has like a sharp point to it. It's also like a flashlight, I think.
Yeah.
It does a few different things. But we see the guy closer now, the grabber, and he's wearing a mask. It looks like a devil face.
Yeah. It's
But
it's
he
it's
has
fucking ugly. It's big.
it's so creepy.
Yeah.
He has multiple variations and attachments to this mask. So he's wearing
He's
the
putting
eyes.
he's crafty, man. He's put effort into it.
He really has. He's wearing the eyes with horns on attached to the head, and the mouthpiece attached has a nose but no mouth on this one, just a long pointy chin.
Yeah.
But we'll see him change the pieces of this mask almost every time he comes back.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's also like this dirty beige looking color. It looks cool though.
Oh, it's great. It is. It's very, very cool. It's just funny that he's, like, constructed this, like, elaborate
Right.
mask.
Yeah. Well, he has to dissociate from what he is doing,
Oh
but we'll get
gosh.
more into that later.
Yeah.
So Finn is in a mostly empty basement with a mattress on the floor and also a black phone on the wall.
Mhm.
Honestly, this is kind of what I expect a single man's first apartment to look like.
Oh, yeah, and why do they always have their okay, what is it with men, all right, and pushing all their furniture up against the walls?
And a mattress on a floor.
I
What is the mattress on a floor?
I don't know if it's the floor or it's the box spring, like, I've seen the box spring, but they
Okay.
always have like, it's not even a bed, it's like a frame, like a metal frame, and their
Yeah.
furniture is always pushed up against the walls, like,
They
have
need
do you ever
room for
notice that?
activities.
Do you ever
They
notice
need
that?
room. They're doing like jumping jacks in the living room or
Like,
something.
I don't know if it's like you can tell, like, it's I don't know, I just find every guy that I've ever dated, I've gone into their house, and I'm like, "Why is all your furniture pushed up against walls?" Like
I'm trying to think of what I do now. I don't think I have a really good interior design skills, but I'm imagining what you're picturing. Like, yeah, there's no depth. It's just like
like you couldn't possibly have anything diagonal, you couldn't break the room up with, like, any other things, it's all just like, "Well, let's just put all the furniture to the against the walls."
I'm never gonna unnotice that now.
Right? You will. You're gonna know. I swear to God, you're gonna notice it. Okay, sorry. Anyways, this has nothing to do with the
So
film, but mattress on the floor. Poor child Finn is in the basement here with the
yeah, and
grabber.
he's awake, but he's still drugged, so he's
Yeah.
still kind of loopy. And the grabber tells him, "I know you're scared, but I'm not gonna hurt you anymore. Nothing bad is gonna happen here."
Oh,
Well, he's
okay.
a fucking liar.
Mhm.
And he says, "On that, I give my word, Johnny." Who is Johnny? Not Finn. That's Finn. So he tells him he's going to get him a soda, which we call pop in Michigan. Thank you very
Yeah, we call
much.
it pop in Canada too.
Hell yeah. The correct way. I'm just kidding. I don't care. Some people get so mad about it. I don't care.
Okay, dude,
But
can I just tell you something really, really quickly? Like really,
yeah,
really fast? I was
yeah.
talking to my girlfriend Shlee. We were on FaceTime the other day, and I fully said something in a Western New York accent, and I almost had a fucking shit attack. Like it came out full blown like buffalo accent.
What is a buffalo accent?
Really? Y-
Yeah.
It's
I'm putting you on the spot right now.
it's like it's kind of nasally. Like the buffalo accent, it's kind of nasally, and it's kind of got like this I don't know. I just heard myself say it and I nearly had a
uh,
fucking heart attack. I was like,
you're going to have to
"Abso-fucking-lutely not.
You're gonna
Absolutely
have to give
not.
me, an example later. When you
Yeah.
say New York, when I hear New York accent, I'm thinking of New York City, you
No,
know?
but Buffalo is just like the Western New York accent is just like very I'll
It's different from Midwestern?
yeah,
Okay.
I'll let you listen to somebody from Western New York after, and
Okay.
you'll be like,
Okay.
"Okay, I hear it now." Yeah.
Okay. And the grabber says, "Is that a phone? Do you hear a phone? I'm gonna go see who that is." No one hears a phone but the
Mhm.
grabber, I guess.
Mhm, mhm,
And he leaves and shuts this industrial looking basement door, which is definitely locked. And Finn starts walking around the basement. He still has the little tool with him too, that little spaceship.
mhm,
So we see that there's a toilet, there's some rolled up carpet, and the black phone on the wall.
mhm,
He picks it up. Of course, it doesn't work. The cord has been ripped out of the wall.
mhm,
So he just lies on the mattress. Now we cut to Gwen's friend's house. Her dad calls to see if she has seen Finn, which of course she hasn't.
mhm.
She immediately drops the phone and runs out of the house. And I was like, girl, don't be running around outside in the dark like that.
I know, but it's like it's slow motion too, like, it's that
Yeah.
when your stomach drops and you just get hit with that
Yeah.
wave of fear? Oh, it's
'Cause she
awful.
knows.
She
She knows
knows.
exactly what
Yeah,
happened
yeah,
because once again, they know he wouldn't have not went home.
right.
And now we see the detectives, we see police cars out, there's a search party, it looks like, or at least the detectives are asking, neighbors if they've seen anything.
And, like,
People are in the streets.
the music's, like, it's, like, really, like, filled with sorrow and despair, and it's you just
Yeah.
feel for Gwen here, man.
Mhm. So back at home, Gwen is praying again to her dollhouse setup, and we cut to Finn. They cut back and forth between what's going on with Finn and like Gwen a lot. We see Finn sleeping in the basement and being woken up by the phone ringing, the phone that has the cord ripped out of the wall.
Mhm,
So he picks it up, and you hear the grabber's voice say, "It doesn't work. Not since I was a kid.
mhm,
Hang it up."
mhm.
So he's standing in the doorway. Finn didn't notice him. And he says, "I know you're scared. I'll take you home soon. But I got to be upstairs for a while. Something came up." And Finn is always questioning him. He's always asking him for information that you would think, like, of course, he's not going to give that to you. But
Right.
I do like that that he keeps trying to question him. Like, what is it? Are the police coming?
Y
Are people coming over?
I was gonna say that's one thing about Finn, like, I did really like that he even though he's, like, not as, like maybe doesn't have as much courage as Gwen, you do see him, like, fighting for survival, like, that's the one thing I think about this movie that I found emotionally that, like, struck me was, like, Finn is a survivor, like, he has it in him to survive anything. I think he's living in survival mode his entire life, and you can see
Hmm.
that how badly he wants to live. And I know that
Yeah.
sounds so, like, of course he wants to live, but I'm saying, like, just the way that he handles the situation, the way that he talks to the grabber, the way that, like, he fawns, right? Like, you see him just going through
Yeah.
all of these different like, coping mechanisms to deal with the
Yep.
situation and just how badly he wants to survive, like, fuck.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And just because he doesn't have physical fight in him from what we've seen before, he
right.
does have fight inside.
That yes,
It's just, yeah.
yes, dude, 100%, and I felt for him so, so much because you just, like,
Hmm.
he wants to stand up for himself so badly, and it's just so scary.
Yeah.
So he's using his brain, and I don't know,
Yep.
I thought it was great.
Yeah, me too. And he's trying to reason with the grabber and he's saying, if you let me go before the police come, I won't tell anyone. And then he says, if someone's coming over, whoever the grabber was referencing, he says, I'll scream and they'll hear me.
Mhm,
And the grabber says, no, he won't. And Finn says, he? Like, who is he?
mhm, mhm,
The grabber changes his voice immediately here. So you will see different personalities in him.
mhm.
Before, when he was talking to Finn, he sounded like, I guess, a normal guy, for lack of a better term, and his voice kind of like a little, like, I don't know, like a little coy, a little like, I'm not gonna hurt you,
Yeah.
maybe even a little juvenile.
Juvenile, yeah, yeah,
But once Finn basically threatens, I'll scream, his voice becomes more gravelly, and he's like, whatever he says here, like, no, you won't, or something like that. And it's like the grabber personality is coming out.
yeah, for sure.
He also says at one point, I won't make you do anything you won't like, which made me want to fucking projectile vomit.
I
So
wanted to throw up. I almost threw up. I was like, "Oh, fuck, no, please no."
I have more thoughts about this at the end of this episode, but I really love how I don't love that obviously,
Mm,
but I love how they don't show any more abuse in this movie. I can tell you that. They don't show any more abuse, but there are
Oh,
implications that make
huge.
you uncomfortable
Yes.
and feel a lot of feelings, you know?
They're making it clear what this guy is all about without shoving it in your face,
Yes, and being, what's the word I'm looking for? Gratuitous or
vulgar or
something?
what's that?
Gratuitous or
Gratuitous,
explicit.
vulgar, like shock value,
Yeah.
they're not doing that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't like
Yes.
that shit.
Okay. Me neither. I actually wrote a lot in my notes about it toward the end. I'm like, I was like the Kermit the Frog meme. That's like, okay, so he tells Finn, I was down here when it rang once. It's so creepy. And he's like being almost charismatic in a way. You
Yes,
know, he's
yes,
trying to relate. Like,
absolutely.
oh, it's such a creepy. Yeah. And he's like giggling. But he tells Finn no one was on the line though. And so the grabber eventually leaves. He shuts the door. Finn starts screaming for help. And
Mhm,
we see an outside shot of the basement through the window. We see bars are on the window
mhm.
and Finn is screaming, but you cannot hear him from the outside.
It's
So the grabber was not lying about that.
dude, terrifying. It reminded me of do you remember that case in Cleveland of that man that had abducted those 3 girls? Do you remember that?
Yes. Yes.
Dude, that's what this
Horrible.
is what it reminded me of, like, just
Yeah.
terrifying, terrifying.
That because this is a suburban neighborhood, by the way.
Yes, it looks very
So
normal, a very normal
yeah,
suburban neighborhood, yeah.
right. Finn is trying to jump up and reach the window. He realizes that if the window could be broken, Robin would have already done it when he was down there.
Mhm,
So he's kind of feeling defeated. He's starting to say to himself, like, I'm never getting out of here.
mhm.
And then the phone rings again and he answers it. And there's no one there. So he hangs up. But we cut to him later sleeping on the mattress again. He opens his eyes and it looks like the phone is pulsing on the wall.
Mhm.
And he starts saying out loud, stop it. And then we hear, stop what? The grabber is sitting on the floor watching him.
Ew, it's so unsettling. It's just
He only has the bottom half of the mask on now, and he's talking in that sad voice.
mhm,
And you can see his eyes. He almost looks like he's teary eyed
mhm,
in this scene to me.
mhm, mhm,
And he tells Finn, because Finn tells him, I'm starving. He says, I can't bring you any food right now. And Finn asks if he can't bring any, like, if you can't bring me any food, why are you down here? And he says, I just wanted to look at you. And then he leaves. So now we cut to Finn sleeping again. Phone rings. He answers it. It sounds like there's no one there, but there's static. And then you hear Finny. And Finn freaks out, of course. He jumps
mhm.
back. He hangs up the phone first, jumps back. It rings again. He just like picks it up and puts it back on the receiver to hang it up. Like, I don't even want to deal with this. And then it rings continuously without any breaks. It's just like one long ring. He answers it. And the voice says, don't hang up. He asks who this is, of course. They say, I don't remember my name. It's the first thing you lose. And of course, Finn is like, what are you talking about? Um, how do you know my name? And the person says, we met once. Your arm is mint. You almost had me, which is from the beginning of the movie.
Mhm.
It's Bruce Yamada on the phone.
Bruce. It's our boy Bruce.
So he tells Finn the phone was ringing before, but none of them heard it, talking about the kids. So Finn is the only one out of all these kids that have heard this phone ringing. Bruce tells him the grabber hears the phone too, but he doesn't want to believe it.
Hmm.
So Bruce keeps repeating every time Finn asks a question, he just keeps saying, your arm is mint. You almost had me. I'm glad it's you. And then he says, there's a dirt section on the floor in the hallway where the tile is loose. So
Mhm.
he tells him to dig underneath the foundation and that Bruce tried to do this, but he ran out of time. And then Finn says, well, will I have enough time? And then the phone hangs up.
Okay, can I say, like, when he was saying your arm is mint, your arm is mint, you almost had me, like, that to me, that equates to, like, when you're, like, asking the universe for signs and all you're getting is, like, number sequences, like, oh, like,
And you're like,
you'll look at a clock and it'll be like 555, like, everywhere you look is, like, a sequence of numbers, and then you're like,
yeah.
"Okay, but what are you trying to tell me? What are these synchronicities?
But what does it mean
Is
though?
it good or is it bad?" Like,
Yeah.
that's what it reminded me of.
No, legit, because he has no idea what to do with this information.
Right.
But at least he did get some clear instructions on what to do with the digging.
Yes, true, true. Mhm.
So now we cut to a flashback. It almost looks like a home movie footage of Bruce as a baby with his
Oh,
parents
it's so
playing
sad, it's
baseball.
sad.
Yeah. And then we see when he got grabbed. And then we see Finn trying to break out of a door that looks like it's to outside,
Mhm,
like he's up on the main floor of a house. And then Gwen wakes up. This was her dream.
mhm.
So she gets on her bike and starts patrolling the neighborhood. It's nighttime too. And she's looking for that door.
Yeah.
That's all she could see was the door.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, Finn is doing what Bruce told him. He's digging up all that dirt, he's flushing it down the toilet.
So
He
smart
covers it
to
very
flush
smart. He
it.
does so many resourceful things here.
Yeah. Yeah, he's very, very smart.
He
So,
covers Oh, go ahead.
oh, I was gonna jump into the next day, but if you wanna.
Oh, just one more part about
Yeah,
this scene is that he covers that giant hole with a piece of that rolled up carpet.
so smart.
Yeah.
Survivor, man, he wants to live.
Yeah.
So the next day at school, there's a school assembly, and Gwen's in the audience, and she just looks so sad. And everyone turns
Mhm.
to look at her because, like, obviously they're talking about Finn missing and the kids missing and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, it's just a very, very heartbreaking scene. That's what I mean. Like, every scene just feels really heavy. Like, it just feels emotionally
Mhm.
weighted. Like,
It is.
you feel her pain, you know,
Yeah.
like you really do.
Yeah.
So Finn is sitting in this shitty room when the grabber walks in. Okay, we're cutting back over there. He's wearing his like fucked up mask and he's carrying a tray of breakfast for him. He's got eggs. Okay. He tells him to eat it or not. Right. And he's like, why would I drug you if I've already got you trapped in here? Because Finn's like, should I eat it? Should I not eat it? You know what I mean? Like maybe he
Yeah.
drugged it. I hate to say this, but like the grabber has a good point. Like he was just like, why would I? But at the same time, I don't know. Right. Like,
My thought was like, I don't wanna answer why you'd wanna drug him when he's already down there because there is an answer to that,
ew.
but I think
Okay.
Finn is
Ew.
smart to
Shit.
it's
Yeah.
well, I'm just
Okay.
saying, like, it's
Yeah.
smart for
Yeah.
Finn to be like, I don't trust what you're giving me."
Right.
But when he does ask him what's in it, that's where he's like, "Salt and pepper. Hee," and, like, laughs. He, like, giggles about it.
Yeah. Yeah. He's definitely entertained by this. Like
Right.
kidnapping children obviously entertains him. He's amused by this and obviously
Yes.
torturing children, right? So just really horrible. So the grabber leaves, but he leaves the door unlocked. He leaves it a little bit unlocked, right? So
Yeah,
Finn
like, cracked
approaches
open.
it as anyone would, but then the black phone rings. And the boy on the phone tells Finn to not go upstairs. It's a trap. And we find out that the kid on the other end is not Bruce. Okay. And the kid has no idea who Bruce is. But the kid on the other end sounds so sad. And in my notes, I wrote, holy fuck, jump scare. Finn turns his
Oh, yeah.
head and we see the kid standing next to him with a slashed face. It scared the shit out of me. I was like doing my notes and then literally I jumped. I was like, wow, that was a really good jump scare.
Yeah. And
Uh,
this is Billy.
yes, he doesn't remember his name, but he was a kid that was delivering newspapers.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, we see little clips of him and his dog, I think, in the very opening scene or, like, in the
y
credits.
yes, exactly, exactly. And I know I did a little bit of a deep dive on I think it was Johnny Gosh, which I'll talk about at the end of the episode, but
Okay.
so Billy warns him not to go upstairs, okay? The grabber is waiting for him on the other side with a belt. All right? He beat the other kids badly with the belt and he won't stop. Like once he starts, he won't stop.
Mhm.
Sounds a lot like his father. Okay. So Finn ignores the advice and slowly makes his way up the stairs, which I do understand because at this point, you don't know if it's the grabber messing with you on the phone. You don't know. Like you just want to get
Yeah.
out of there, right? Like there's an open
And you see an
door.
opening.
That's
Like,
it.
how hard is it to not take an opening, right?
Exactly. 100%, right? So he makes his way up there. The camera just like slowly pans to the grabber in his kitchen without a shirt, holding a belt. It is one of the most disturbing images. He's sort of sitting on it like with his legs kind of open casually, just like
Yeah,
almost like he's waiting for something. And
he
it's
is.
he is, but I'm just trying to describe what it looks like visually.
Yeah, he definitely looks laid back and, like because this is a game to
It's
him,
a
and
game.
he's
Yes.
setting up all these kids to fail, so he's just waiting for this kid to fail like the rest of them did.
And without
He
his
also is
shirt on,
wearing
like, without his
yeah,
shirt on, it
yeah,
felt it's so gross, so icky. It's
yeah,
so disturbing because you're just like, he's obviously like a sadist, you know what I mean?
right.
Ugh,
Yeah, he's also wearing a different mask this time. The bottom part of the mask is a big frown.
dude.
But Finn does decide, I'm gonna go back downstairs. He doesn't see the grabber, but he is just taking Billy's advice.
Yeah.
And Finn is the one who realizes, oh, you're Billy once he puts together those clues. Because yeah, none of these kids remember their names,
Mhm.
which is interesting.
Yeah.
So he goes downstairs. He does eat those eggs, and there's like a glass bottle of soda, I guess. So at school, we see that Gwen's teacher is letting her go into the nurse's office for a nap because she's falling asleep in class, which I thought was really nice.
Mhm.
You know, everyone knows what she's going through.
Mhm.
And then we cut back to Finn, and the black phone rings.
Mhm.
It's Billy again, but he doesn't want to be called that. He says, that's not who I am anymore. He wants to be called Paperboy. The bottle on the floor, that glass bottle that Finn drank out of, starts rattling.
Mhm.
And then we see the wall, or he says, see the wall in front of you where it's separated from the floor? I tore a cable loose from there. I hit it. And Finn's like, okay, what am I going to do with that? The bottle starts spinning by itself and it raises and pointing to the window. So then Finn realizes that he needs to use that cable to try to get up to the window.
Right.
Now, in the nurse's office, Gwen is having a dream about Billy, the paperboy, delivering his papers with his golden retriever following him, uh, getting taken in the black van.
Mhm.
There's a creepy image of the grabber holding his balloons in front of his house, and she wakes up. So now she knows what the house looks like.
Yep.
Now, in the basement, Finn has gotten that cable. He's trying to get it around the bars of the window, which is really hard to do because it's pretty high up.
Mhm.
He ends up using a rolled up piece of the carpet to slide the cable through to hook it around those bars. Once again, so smart,
So
so
smart.
resourceful.
Yep. Mhm.
He is in a real life escape room
Mhm.
with the worst possible fate waiting. And he tries climbing with the rope once he gets it around, but he keeps slipping. So then he ties a knot so he can give himself a boost. And then he finally gets to those bars. He's reaching for the window. He almost opens the window, and then the bars break and he falls.
And he eats shit hard here.
Yeah. And I was actually thinking like, oh shit, the grabber is going to hear that because the metal like falls on the ground,
Yeah.
but I don't think he does.
No, it
I
makes like
think
a
he does leave.
yeah, it makes like a huge crashing sound. Even in my notes I wrote I'm nervous for him,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't think the grabber hears.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Uh, at one point, it's referenced that the grabber does have a job, so he might just be leaving throughout the day as well.
Mhm.
But now the window is way too high to reach. It doesn't have the bars anymore. So at home, Gwen is asking her dad if she can ask him a question and promise that he won't get mad, which is a big ask.
Mhm.
He is, of course, drinking in his recliner,
And he's
and
also can I also just say he's being like he's being kind of friendly with her,
yeah,
and
yeah,
like, that has to be so confusing as a kid to have your,
hmm
like, parent be nice to you sometimes, but then beat the shit out of you other times. And, like,
yeah,
you're literally walking on eggshells all the time trying to not trigger him.
right.
Horrifying.
But she wants to talk about her dreams,
Mhm.
and you can tell on his face he's like, uh huh. And she says, "What if they're real?" And then he starts telling her about how her mother, he loved her and she was so smart, but she was also touched, is how he puts it.
Touched, yep.
He touched. And she also thought her dreams were real and they eventually told her to do terrible things, eventually leading to her taking her own life.
Mhm.
And he doesn't want that future for Gwen, which a part of me understands that sentiment. I don't think that means you should abuse your children, but she says, what if it can help us find Finney?
Mhm.
And her dad starts crying, and then we cut to him taking her around town in the car at night. So he is helping her search for this house, at least.
Yeah.
Not saying that makes everything okay, but he is participating now.
Mhm.
And we see that there's another search party going on, and the detectives show up at the house of who we will learn is Max.
Oh my god, Max. He reminded me, like, as soon as we walk into the house okay, so listen. This man invites him in. Samson is his dog. Samson's barking. Okay, this is his big dog. And this guy reminded me of the meme of Charlie Day from It's Always Sunny.
Okay, yeah. Yes, yes, with all the red rope or red yarn
Ye
like leading to all the detective work. Yeah.
Literally, like, this is me and you when we go down rabbit holes. Like,
No,
this
legit.
is like somebody says to me, like, "I'm seeing this guy and I need to find out everything I can about him, but I only have one name. I only have the first name, and I know that he lives in this city." And I'm like, "Boom, let's go, baby. Let's
Yes.
go."
I love Max. I feel like he reminded me of Ace Ventura. I think it was the shirt,
Oh,
like the
for
Hawaiian
sure.
shirt.
And he's just, like, coked out of his mind. I guess we should, like, describe
Yes.
this guy. So he is like I wrote this guy as ADHD for sure. This guy is
He's
on a lot
on
of cocaine.
something.
He's on a lot of
Yes.
cocaine, and he's really into the investigation, okay? So, he wants to, like, figure out where these kids are going missing, who the grabber is, like, he's like one of those true crime junkies that probably hasn't slept for a while and is, like, somebody that posts on Reddit, like, 24/7.
I wrote, "This guy is on one," and when I say on one, I mean a lot of coke.
A lot of cocaine, like, he was I mean, his septum is probably just
Destroyed.
gone, brother, it's gone.
Yes, as soon as the detectives walk in, he has this whole breakdown of like, okay, the kids were taken after school except for Robin, who was taken on his way to the store. And he's just like going in. He's like, come on in. He's like, so excited for these cops to be here.
Yeah, like, he wants to be part of the investigation, and he feels like he's helping by, like
Yeah.
and, like, listen, he was helping.
Yeah.
He was close, not as close as he should have been, but he was getting there.
Yeah.
Maybe he would be more close if he wasn't on so much cocaine.
Yeah.
But he believes that the grabber has to live in the area, okay? And he points
Yeah.
at this map that he has, and then he also goes on to say, like, "I actually don't live here. I'm just staying with my brother. This is my brother's house." And
Yeah.
the 2 detectives do not take him seriously at all. They think he's a buffoon, right?
Yeah.
And they basically say to him, like, "Give us a call or whatever," you know?
Like only if you see any of these boys, call us. And he's like, or if I have any new leads, right? And they're like, no.
Yeah,
Only if you see the boys.
they're like, "Oh, okay, no." So the guy feels like he went about this the wrong way. Like, he feels like after they leave, like, Max is kind of like, "Oh, man, I didn't handle this the right way," and then just snorts a gigantic line of coke.
I think he also realizes that the cops saw his cocaine because one of
Oh.
them says like, "Why don't you clean up before your brother gets home?" And he looks at the coffee table. He's like, "Stupid, stupid."
He's great. He's really good comic relief in an
Yes.
otherwise very tense movie.
Yes. And then the camera pans down from Max doing the rest of this coke to the basement where fucking Finn is.
Dude, what
He is
the
in the basement
fuck?
of this guy's
The
house.
brother is the grabber? Like, what?
Yeah, you're like, "Is this the grabber?" That's
Yeah.
what it looks like right now, and he's just trying to, like, trick the cops, get him off his case, right?
In my
But we'll
notes,
find
I
out.
wrote his brother is the grabber. So I must have not thought that he was the grabber. I think he
You're already like,
yeah.
"Okay."
Yeah.
Well, I think also it's easier in hindsight. I mean, you already know we are gonna talk about spoilers, obviously, um, but I think when I watched it in theaters, because I'm not dissecting every scene and, like, it's the first time I'm watching it, I
Mhm.
was like, "Okay, is this guy it?" It feels too easy for it to be him.
He
It has
just
to be.
he seemed too jumpy. Like, he seemed
Yeah.
too, like, drugged out, like, to
Oh,
carry
yeah.
out carry out something like this.
Right. Unless that was just one of his personalities, I don't know.
Sure.
But I was
Yeah.
also thinking, in the theater, I probably didn't catch that he said, "Oh, I don't live here. I'm staying with my brother." Because that, especially,
It's
the
huge
second time around, I'm like,
red flag, huge red herring, right?
"Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah." So Finn is digging up more dirt.
Mhm.
He's covering the hole with the carpet. Down comes the grabber who was wearing the mask. So we don't know who it is because we can't see his face.
Mhm.
And he has more eggs and soda, and he wants to know Finn's name. Because remember, he's just grabbing random kids. And Finn wants to know why he cares. And he tells him, I usually don't. I usually find out in the paper and I learn all the things you boys lie about. To kidnap someone and you're going to torture and eventually murder this boy, and you're trying to tell him, like, that the gymnastics people go through in their mind make me want to just scream.
Oh,
Like,
even dude, even this like when I was watching this, like even at the end when we don't really find out too much about I don't give a flying fuck about this guy. I don't care what his damage is. I don't care if he likes wearing like I don't care. He's just at the end of the day, he's just a piece of shit.
yeah,
Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's just like whatever
yeah,
is who cares? He sucks. Like you know what I mean? Like cuz he
yeah.
obviously has like all of these like oh and the other boys and like all these little games that he
They're lying
plays.
to me.
Yeah, it's just
Like,
like no, you're just a piece of shit and you
right.
that's it. That's the long and short of it with him, right?
Yeah. He tells Finn that it's complicated this time, nothing's going right. So Finn, of course, wants to know, like,
Mhm.
why is it not going right? He has to be let go, and the grabber says, "I'm thinking about it,"
Mhm.
which I don't believe him
Mm.
because giving him that false hope is just another layer of cruel.
Yep. 100%.
And when I first watched it, I was thinking like, maybe he was thinking about it. No, he wasn't.
No,
He wasn't.
he also wants Finn to walk upstairs and play the game,
Exactly.
right?
That's why I'm like, oh, he definitely wasn't considering it.
Mhm,
But he keeps asking for his name, and Finn tells him it's Taylor.
mhm.
And the grabber sighs and throws the food to the ground and then emerges from the shadow in the doorway. He has the frown mask on again, which also just adds to the disappointment, right?
Mhm.
And tosses Finn a newspaper. There's a big article about Finn being missing. And he says, I was really starting to like you, Finny. I almost let you go. You're a fucking liar. You weren't going to let him go.
No, he's yeah, no.
But yeah, he's setting all these kids up to fail so he can punish them. And we're going to find out more about that the more Finn gets these phone calls. So the grabber leaves, the phone rings, but no one's there. We see the grabber impatiently waiting up in the kitchen again with that belt,
Oh,
sitting in the chair. But
ew.
this time, he's falling asleep. So Finn has to scrape the eggs off of the dirty basement floor to eat because he's starving.
Mhm.
And now he's sitting on the bed. He's looking around with a little flashlight. This was another jump scare.
Yeah, it freaked me out. I jumped for sure.
He's looking around the room. I'm expecting, okay, we're going to see a little ghost boy, but he sees the ghost boy like bent backwards, floating in the air. So creepy, like blood dripping. He points to the phone.
Yeah, because we can,
And
like,
then,
hear dripping noises.
yeah,
Ugh,
yeah.
ugh.
That's what he was looking around for,
Because I
right?
think
And
the kid's throat is slit,
yeah,
like, hovering in the air, right?
yeah. And he picks up the phone. Finn picks up the phone because the boy's pointing to it, even though it wasn't ringing. He looks back, the boy is gone. But then you hear a voice on the phone that says, you don't have much time. The grabber is sleeping. And Finn realizes eventually this is Griffin.
Mhm,
He says, I didn't know you, but everyone knows his name.
mhm.
And
Oh,
Griffin says nobody did.
I know, he felt invisible.
He says, you spend so many years invisible, then every kid in the state knows your name, which that just broke my heart.
Me too. It's so sad.
Yeah. And
Mhm,
then Griffin tells Finn the grabber is worried that his brother upstairs is going to figure it out soon, essentially. He also tells Finn the grabber hasn't killed him yet because Finn won't play the game. Naughty boy.
mhm.
And if you don't play, he can't beat you. If he can't beat you, he can't move on to the next part, which is his favorite part.
Ew.
And Finn, of course, asks, what is the next part? And Griffin just laughs and says, you don't have much time.
Yo.
And then Griffin tells him again, he's sleeping. Finn sees the door is cracked. And then Griffin tells him, my old bike lock is on the front door, but he can't remember the combination.
Mhm.
But he does tell Finn that he carved it in the wall with a bottle cap. So Finn eventually finds it, but it's just the number. So that means, it's a padlock. So it could be any combination of those numbers.
Mhm.
They're in order, but is it 2 33 17? Is it 23 31 7? He
Dude
doesn't know.
dude, in my notes, I wrote, "Well, Griffin is pretty useless."
Like you couldn't just put a dash between those numbers so
Like,
it could be,
why you gotta make it so hard, man? Come on, Griff.
but at least he knows the numbers. So he has three, I think it was like three different combinations that he could try.
Yeah.
So Finn slowly goes up the stairs and then he is face to face with a fucking grabber who is sleeping
Mhm,
in that chair, but he's snoring and like moving a little bit, like jumping,
mhm,
which is so terrifying.
mhm.
Imagine like, if you really imagine having to walk past that, I would be fucking
And
sweating.
he's
Like,
the kid's 13. Like, imagine
yeah,
doing that at 13. He's so brave. He's
yeah.
so brave.
He gets to the padlock. He tries the first two. And of course, those first fucking two don't work.
Mhm.
He's almost to the last number. The grabber is right behind him too. So like in the shot, we can see like the front door, Finn, and then into the kitchen where we can see the grabber sleeping.
Like, the tension is amazing in this. Like, you're just like,
Yes.
I like, you wanna bring your knees up to your chest. You're just like, "Oh my god,"
Yeah.
like, oh, it's yeah.
And as soon as he opens that lock, he finally unlocks it. Samson, the dog, is in another room, starts going crazy.
Fucking dog, man.
But Finn escapes. This, oh my gosh, like you have so much hope, okay? The
Mhm,
grabber immediately gets in his van and is chasing Finn. Finn is running down the street, screaming for help.
mhm,
It's nighttime. He eventually like trips. The grabber tackles him into a bush. You see a house nearby, their porch light turns on, and you're like, oh my gosh, look outside, look outside, look
mhm.
outside. The grabber puts a knife up to Finn's throat and says, if you say one word, I will gut you right here in the street and strangle you with your own intestines.
That's terrifying, dude.
So Finn is quiet. I understand why. There is
I
a
would
part of me that
scream. I think
goes,
I would scream. I think I would.
it's so hard to say, but I was thinking about this too. I'm like, really? You're going to gut me in the street and you think you're going to have time to strangle me with my own intestines when people are going to be coming out of their house because they hear what's happening? I don't think so.
And
But he could still kill him, which obviously,
But he and, like
you know what I
and
mean?
he's a kid, so obviously, like, you don't know how you're gonna act in that situation. It's just textbook, like, this guy is just textbook, like, you're not the grabber's not gonna do shit. Like, that's why he goes
Yeah,
after kids because he's a fucking pussy, right?
right.
Like, he
Yeah,
uses intimidation to scare the shit out of these kids, right? Because
yeah.
ugh.
But I can't even imagine, like, having a knife to your throat. You're like, well, you could just be like,
Yeah,
even if he, like, stabs him and runs away and doesn't do all the other things he said, he could still, out of anger or whatever, trying to quiet him, kill him. So I get it,
yeah. For sure, for
but it
sure.
is so frustrating because it's right there and it's false hope and you're like rooting for him.
Yeah.
But the porch light turns off
Mhm.
and then the grabber says, "Night, night, naughty boy," and punches him out cold.
Yikes.
But this scene was so good because you feel that sense of hope and it gets shut down in a way that doesn't make any of the characters look stupid,
Yeah. Oh,
which I really appreciate.
yes, dude, yes,
They do
1,000,000% yes.
Yeah, I don't think there's a single scene in this movie where I went, "Well, that was fucking stupid. Why
No,
did you do that?"
no,
And I
agreed.
think that's hard to do in horror,
It is very hard to
you
do in
know?
horror,
It
100%, yeah.
drives me crazy when the protagonists are just dumb and not for a reason, not like
Yes.
it's, part of their character to be dumb or
It's like
whatever.
a plot
Like,
device.
yes.
Yeah.
The protagonists don't need to be stupid or even make mistakes. The antagonist just needs to be one step ahead, and that invests me so much more.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm
Like,
with
when
you on
you're
that.
like, in this scene, when you're like, "Oh my gosh, he almost got away, like, so close," and you're rooting for him as opposed to, like, "Now why the fuck would you do that?"
Yeah, I agree.
You know?
Mhm.
I loved it.
Yep.
So anyway, the grabber takes Finn back down to the basement, and we can hear Max upstairs asking what that noise was. And the grabber just says, "Oh, Samson heard a noise." We cut to Gwen getting out her dollhouse altar, and she says, "Jesus, what the fuck?"
She's pissed. She didn't get any
Yeah,
dreams, man. She's like, "What the fuck? Come on." And she starts wondering
yeah,
if it's actually real. She starts to second guess herself here. She starts to wonder if maybe she's going a little crazy, you know? She's not sure.
yeah. She starts doubting God even being real.
Mhm.
She's pissed that she didn't get a dream last night,
Mhm.
and the clues so far haven't made any sense. She's like, "What the hell is wrong with you?"
Yeah. Mhm.
And now we cut to Finn waking up in the basement. He realizes he's back. The black phone rings, and Finn to the phone says, "No, fuck you." He doesn't even want, like,
He's
"I'm doing what you
frustrated.
say."
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
frustrated. Yeah. Yeah.
he's doing everything they say, and it's not working. He does answer, though, but he's pissed. And the kid that answers the phone is so aggressive. And he says, "This is it." And he points toward the wall because we can see the ghost of Vince Hopper uh, behind Finn on the bed,
Uh-huh.
like opposite of him on the bed. He tells Finn, "Today's the end of your pathetic little life." And Finn realizes who it is. And he tells Vince, "You used to scare me." And Vince says, "If you knew what was coming, you'd be fucking terrified." And then he says, "Today's the day, motherfucker." And he stands up, like the ghost Vince stands up and kicks like he's kicking in a door almost.
Yeah.
Which at first you're like, "What are you doing?" Then it cuts to what looks like a flashback of him at a convenience store playing on a pinball machine.
Right. I think his name is Vance.
It might be Vance. It might have autocorrected to
Okay,
Vince.
okay. I was like, I couldn't figure out if it was me or you, but I was like, I feel like it's gotta be Vance because I've written it about 100 times here.
It probably is. I think Vance sounds more right. Vance Hopper, and I forget what they called him in the beginning of the movie, but I had it. I know we mentioned it, but
I hate
Vance to me,
autocorrect. I hate it so much.
I know. I'm like, don't fuck me up like that. If it said something crazy, I would know it was wrong. But Vince is a real name, so I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, Vance or Hopper, I call him Hopper a lot in these notes too,
Mhm,
so that's probably why I didn't even notice. But uh, he looks 80s to me, which this is 78, so we're getting close. And I know there's overlap in the decades, right?
mhm, mhm,
But to me, he looks like he has like 80s hair,
mhm.
hairband hair,
Yeah, definitely, 100%, yeah. Or maybe
and
late
he's like a
70s
rebel.
too. Late 70s, early
Yeah.
80s, yeah.
So he's playing this pinball machine. Some kid bumps into him, like ruins his pinball game.
Mhm.
Vance, I actually did write Vince multiple times, but you're right, it is Vance. Uh, Vance starts beating him up and another kid too. And we see that Finn was watching this. And then Vance carves numbers into the kid's arm with a
Dude,
knife,
that's
7741.
fucking crazy.
Yeah. I'm assuming that didn't happen in real life in the flashback because we're going to see Gwen now uh walking through this scene. This is her dream. I
Mhm,
think that part was just for her, right?
mhm.
And so Hopper gets put in the back of the police car. Gwen gets into, and over the radio, I loved this part.
I
Over
did
the
too.
radio, Gwen starts hearing the whole conversation that Finn just had with him on the phone,
Yeah.
but we're seeing it from his side
Oh,
now.
it's so cool, dude. It's so cool. I love it.
So when he says, "This is it," they're stopping at the Greiber's house. And when he says, "Today's the day, motherfucker," and kicks, he's kicking open the fence. And then Gwen wakes up. She had fallen asleep in the bathtub, which, very dangerous. Please don't do
Yeah,
that.
don't do that.
But now we're back in the basement and we're hearing the rest of the conversation between Finn and Hopper. And Finn says, "I've already tried everything." And Hopper says, "No, you haven't." He's also very aggressive. Hopper is like at a 10 the entire time
Y
he's talking to Finn.
Yeah, he is. That's in my notes too. He's really, really, really aggressive. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He tells him that there's an outlet across from the toilet. He tells him break into the wall 2 feet above the outlet. And he's basically telling him there's this big ass freezer on the other side of the wall. If he breaks through the wall at that point, he can unscrew the panel on the back of the freezer and get into the storage room. So Finn is like, "Thank you for helping me." And Hopper's like, "This isn't about you." And the little ghost Hopper comes up next to Finn and he's like, "Fuck him." And then he gets sucked into like the abyss of purgatory or wherever the fuck they go.
Yeah, and like everything's like shaking and shit. It's like pretty
Yeah.
wild.
So Finn starts
Oh,
chipping away at the
and
wall.
he does say he tells Finn that that he wants revenge on the grabber.
Yes.
That this is about
Yes.
revenge. Mhm.
Hell yeah. And so Finn starts chipping away at the wall with the back of the toilet cover.
Yeah, so
Those
smart
things are
again.
heavy.
So
Yeah.
resourceful. Yeah.
Even more resourceful, he takes apart pieces of inside the toilet tank to use to unscrew the back panel of this freezer and gets into the freezer.
Yep.
So he starts trying to open the door from the inside, like he's trying to shoulder it. It's not working. And there's so many scenes that just break my heart in this movie.
Dude.
He is so defeated,
Dude, it's
right?
so sad, man. He can't get through. And he's like whacking his body against the door. He's trying everything. And he must be so sore. And he just sits and we finally see him sob. Like you
Yep.
finally see, okay, this is what I was trying to say earlier about him being a survivor, is like, this is where, I mean, he's a kid the whole time, but he's forced into a situation where he has to think like an adult, right?
Yep.
You see he's a child here. Like you really see he's just a kid and he's broken and he's scared and he's alone and he doesn't have anyone and now he's hopeless. And it's just visceral.
Yeah.
Did you feel that
Oh,
way?
yeah, absolutely. It was heart-wrenching. Like I was like, "Oh, this is getting me."
It's like,
Especially when I told you before, when I'm taking my notes, it hits me so much harder because
yeah.
we're so in the details, right?
Yeah, and like he's been so strong this entire time and he's just hit his breaking point,
Yeah.
you
Yep.
know? And he should this should never happen to a kid, but like I don't know, there's just something about him crumbling that like
Yep.
was so
It gets you.
distressing. It got
It
me.
really
It
gets you.
really fucking got me, man.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So now the black phone rings again. This time, it's
It's
Robin.
our guy Robin. We love
So all
Robin.
the kids, I don't know if this is correct, but it seemed like all the kids were kind of calling in order that they were abducted
I
to.
think so. That seems right to me. Mhm.
Okay. At least Robin being last and Hopper being second to last. But Robin tells him that I've been with you the whole time. They have a long conversation here, but essentially, Finn is telling him we'll be together soon. And Robin's like, "Fuck that. Like, no, what did I tell you before about someday you're gonna have to fight back?" And he says, "Today's the day you stop taking shit from anyone." So he tells Finn to fill the receiver of the phone with dirt to give it weight. And then he's telling him steps. Okay. And we see Robin in the room now. This is also like an emotional part because
Dude,
he's like
dude,
training him.
dude, in my notes I said, "Oh my god, I'm sobbing. I must have been bawling watching this. Holy shit."
No, for real. Like taking my notes today, I was tearing up again because
Ugh.
there's so much emotion in so many of these scenes. It was done so well. So he's telling him, raise the phone, fast step back, step forward, step back again, then swing. And he's repeating this over and over and over. And Finn is doing it with the phone, like practicing. And Robin's doing it, his ghost Robin that Finn can't see is doing it with him.
It's
He's like
it's
training him.
it's like The Karate Kid. Like it's so good. Like you
The supernatural Karate Kid.
kind of, yeah, like all these boys, all these kids that were abducted are little by little giving Finn a piece of something he can use and they're all just trying to help him,
Yeah.
right? And it's like
Mhm.
then to see Robin and for Robin to be like, "You got to stand up for yourself, man, and this is how you're going to do it." It's like That is friendship. Like, not here, well, why don't you go do that? No, no, no. Friendship literally is like, you need to do this and I'm gonna be by your side while you do it. Like
Yes.
you, like you're like that for me. You know what I mean? It's like
Um,
shit, you're struggling. Well, we're gonna struggle together and we're gonna, I'm gonna help you up. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I thought it was just a beautiful, beautiful scene. I loved it.
it is beautiful, and it's also fucking fantastic storytelling
Oh,
throughout this entire movie.
yes.
Like, we're getting ready to see Finn finally fucking fight back,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
Robin also tells him this is the last call, which even that part broke me. I was like, fuck,
So scary.
it's the last call.
Fuck.
To know that this is the last time that they're going to be able to help you must feel so isolating.
Yeah,
You're already isolated, but now you don't even have the ghost helping you. Like, fuck.
dude.
So he does what Robin told him. He fills the receiver with dirt. He also uses those screws from the freezer and the cable to set up a tripwire on the ground.
Mhm.
He screws into the
And
wall.
it's raining. It's like raining really hard outside.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We cut to Gwen riding her bike around in the rain. She's apologizing to Jesus. She's like, I'm sorry for what I said. Please be real. Please be real. Lightning flashes, and she sees all of those ghost boys essentially
Mhm.
lined up in the street, which scares the shit out of her. She falls off her bike. Now they're gone, but she is in front of that house that she saw in her dream. And the
Dude.
address is
Dude.
7741.
Okay, can I also say she looks so stinking cute in her little, like, raincoat and boots?
Her raincoat.
Yes.
Yeah. But that 7741 is the same number that Vince carved into that boy's arm in her dream.
Mhm.
So she gets home fast. She still has the detective's card. She calls him. And then back at the grabber's house, Max is doing more coke, staring at his vision board, essentially.
He's piecing
I
it
don't know what else to
together.
call it.
Yeah, it's like a what do you
I
call
don't know
those?
what that's called. I forgot to look it up. I'm going to look it up for the extended.
Okay.
We'll talk about it.
Okay, okay.
But you can see in his face that he is starting to realize
Oh,
something.
yeah.
And I was getting excited, like, yes, put it together, put it together. The detectives and Gwen are now rushing to the house.
Mhm.
Max is approaching the basement door, and for a second, he changes his mind. He goes, "Ugh," like, you can tell, he's like, oh, this is probably silly. He doesn't say anything, but you can see it in his expression.
Mhm.
From the basement, we see Finn pacing. There's a lot of cutting back and forth now between Max, Finn, and the detectives and Gwen.
Yeah, it's almost like it's right now it's like pressure is building.
Right. Finn is pacing. He sees the phone pulsing again. This I thought was very interesting. I'm assuming that this is just a representation of spiritual energy of the kids trying to warn Finn that either someone was coming or
Mhm.
something is about to go down.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too,
Okay,
yeah.
because I didn't know how else. I didn't know what else that meant. Just a theory.
Yeah.
So, sure enough, the lights turn on, and Finn grabs the receiver. He's ready. The door opens. It's fucking Max, and Max is like, "No fucking way."
Like his cell, I don't listen, if I found a kid in my, like, sibling's basement that'd been missing, I don't think I'd be like, "Whoa." I would be like,
But what if we were on an entire pound of coke?
"Yeah, okay, that's fair."
And then Max is like, "Hey, you want another story about how I found you, man?" like,
Like, "No, sir, I
can
don't.
you help him
Please
first?
stop with the coke, like, for just a second.
No, seriously.
Please."
And then he's slowly like opening the door to the cellar, and you can see that the grabber is coming down the fucking stairs. He sinks an axe into his brother's head.
Dude, when that happened, mind blown. I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh, this guy does not give a fuck."
no, he's too far in. And he's only wearing
Yeah.
the top half of his mask now, which is also creepy
Mhm.
because you're seeing his mouth. I don't know, you're just seeing bits and pieces of his face, and it just, knowing who he is, it's upsetting.
It's disorienting, right?
Yeah,
Like, because he's not an actual well, he is, he's a small little man,
yeah,
but he's trying to make himself not. He's trying to make himself more
yeah.
scary.
So the detectives
Um,
and Gwen, oh, go ahead.
well, I was gonna say, like, here is interesting because the detectives and Gwen are also going towards the house, but we don't know what house they're going to,
Yeah,
and they do it really well, where now we're gonna be jumping back and forth here.
yes. It's
Right? So
done
we're gonna
so
cut to
well.
Gwen. It's done so well, yes. So we're gonna cut to Gwen standing outside the grabber's house,
Mhm.
okay? The cops show up, the detectives go inside. We're gonna cut back to the grabber. He looks fucking crazy, okay? His mask is covered in blood. This is where now he tells Finn it's his fault that he killed Max.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
I hate victim blaming
Yeah.
as it is, But I hate victim complexes. I can't, like, just take ownership of
Yeah.
yourself. You just used the axe. It was
Right.
you. But, like, that's so ridiculous. But, like, in real life, you know what I mean? I can't stand
Yeah.
when people just, like, always are the
"Oh,
victim,
you
just
made me
like, you're
do this."
not.
Like, no, this is the consequences of your own actions, actually.
Y Just take a little bit of accountability. I know it's
Yeah.
tough, but you
Yeah.
can do it. Okay. Anyway.
So he's talking to Max and like, sorry, Max, I'm going to have to put you with the others. At the same time, the detectives are now breaking into that house that Gwen found. And the grabber now, once again, we're cutting back and forth a lot. The grabber says, I usually use a knife, but you're special, Finney. And he tells him that he really wants this to hurt. He calls down Samson, the dog, chains Samson to the wall. The detectives are breaking into the house at the same time, but the house looks empty. And one of the detectives is like, it's empty, it's the wrong house. Now, the grabber is taking the axe and approaches Finn, but Finn's able to duck him. He jumps over that carpet that he was digging a hole in earlier, pulls that
Yo,
tripwire like a little Home Alone
he is
action.
ready. He
He,
is ready, man.
the,
Fucking Home Alone. Let's go.
yes, the grabber falls into that hole. Looks like he breaks his ankle on the metal from the window. Uh, And now Finn is doing that step back, step forward, striking with the receiver because the grabber is stuck in the hole. So only like his torso is out of the hole. The grabber does eventually get Finn. He grabs him. I mean, he is the grabber. He grabs him. Finn
He's like
rips,
feral.
yeah.
Like he's like fucking feral, man.
Finn rips his mask off, which does distract him. He starts freaking out. And I understand this. Like sometimes little things where it's like, oh, you wouldn't care about your mask right there because he's beating you up. But I do think that he would because this is him being exposed for who he really
Yes.
is,
This
right?
is his identity.
And
Yeah.
he has, not that I'm diagnosing him, but whatever, he's a fictional character, so it's fine.
Mhm.
He clearly has some type of like multiple personalities or something where sometimes he's timid, sometimes he's like this, and either that or he is putting the responsibility on this character that he made up or characters maybe that
Yes.
he made up.
I I think I don't think he has multiple personality. I
Hmm.
think it's what you just said.
Okay.
I think yeah, and I think like the mask, putting the mask on, it's a disassociation too,
Exactly.
right?
The
Yeah.
disassociation. Yes. Someone else
Mhm.
did this. You made me do this. The grabber did this, not me. So he
Mhm.
starts freaking out to get, his mask is gone. Finn takes the phone cord, leaps over him, wrapping it around his neck. The phone starts ringing. He says, "It's
Mhm.
for you." I'm like, okay. Puts the
Yes.
receiver up to the grabber's face. And over the phone, you hear, "Welcome to the nightmare end of your pathetic little life," which is Vance Hopper from earlier. All the
Dude,
boys are saying all the things that they were saying on the phone earlier that didn't really make sense to Finn. It
dude.
it ends with Bruce saying Finn's arm is mint, and Finn
Yes.
snaps the fucking grabber's neck.
Fuck, dude. The dog is still
I
barking,
got
this huge
chills.
ass dog. It's epic. It's epic.
So back at the abandoned house, the cops say, "Wait, we got a basement." They find a basement. So you're still like, "Oh shit, they're in this basement."
Mhm.
We see Finn take a steak from that freezer and feed it to the dog to distract him so he can go up the stairs. All the things that these boys have been telling him to do that he thought were failures were really for the bigger picture at the end. I fucking
Mhm.
love that so much.
Me too, man. Me too.
So at the same time, Finn is walking up the stairs. The detectives are walking down the stairs into a different basement that is
Yeah.
clearly full of graves. And one of them is dug but empty, obviously for Finn.
Yikes.
And one detective says, I think he kills them somewhere else. And then we see Finn walking up the stairs using that padlock code because now he knows it, walking out the front door. Gwen is sitting by the fence by the house she led the cops to. She's upset. And then she sees Finn walk out of the house across the street. It was across
Dude,
the street.
I was sobbing. I was okay, first of all, the music here is very uplifting, but it's still really, really tense,
Yes.
right? When she sees him, I felt like I was do you remember Homeward Bound when Shadow comes up
Oh my
at the end?
gosh.
That's how I felt. I was like, that moment of like when she sees him, it's like I can't even imagine the amount of relief that ran through her body.
And
Like,
shock and confusion. You probably don't even realize that's what you're looking at right now. Like, am I hallucinating?
yeah.
Because he walks out of the house so casually, and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah,
You
exactly.
also see the black
Exactly.
van is parked in the driveway, which they knew about
Mhm.
a van, but they don't ever give the detail that it was like a magician's van or a black van. Because
No,
I was like,
yeah.
that would have been a giveaway right there. But
Yeah, there's a big, big black magician.
But,
How
Gwen
did nobody think to ask the local magician, you know?
the lo did anyone call the local magician? Gwen runs over to hug Finn. The detectives run over as well, of course, all of them. Finn tells them in the basement, some cops take Finn and Gwen away. The detectives go in the house. Their dad gets there while they're sitting in the back of an ambulance. I know you're rolling your eyes. He gets on his hands and knees and literally asks his children to forgive him. So I really hope this little fire under his ass and he'll stop being an abusive piece of shit now.
I was gonna say, let's see some behavioral changes.
Yes.
Okay, your apology is nothing.
Yes, but hopefully this really, scared him straight, I guess, for lack of better term. And
Yeah,
so
and I want to say, like, I know I just keep saying, like, oh, the guy's a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit. Like, what I think he does such a good job. The actor is like, it's not as simple as him just being a piece of shit.
sure.
Like, you see on his face this range of emotions that he's going through, right? Like, it's complex.
Yeah.
It's very complex, and I feel like I still think he's obviously a huge piece of shit. But him crying at the end on his knees, like, I'm just glad that they didn't make him just like, I'm just an abusive dad and I have no
There are
other
layers.
qualities. And do you know,
There's
like, at least like,
layers.
that's what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say. Yes.
I had an
Yeah.
alcoholic father. He would cry all the fucking time. But if you're not changing your behavior, it doesn't matter. Like that's real life. That's a real life alcoholic, they will you're about to spit out your water.
Okay. Sorry. No, you said that so matter of
I
factly. You were
know.
like, yeah, they fucking cry.
They do a lot actually.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
so they're in the back of the ambulance. He's begging for forgiveness. We see the detectives talking to news reporters. We learn that the grabber owned both of these homes. And we cut to Finn going back to school. All the kids know him now, just like Griffin was talking about. And you can hear the
Hmm.
kids kind of murmuring in the hallway, like, I thought he'd be bigger. Like, oh, I don't know how he would have strangled him to death, like things like that. He
Yeah.
sits next to Donna in the class and she says, Hi, Finny. And he says, Call me Finn. The end. So we had like a moment of, I feel like that was symbolic of him, like turning a page, like a new chapter. Like
Yeah.
I want to say
Finding
he's
himself.
not grown, but like, I mean, if something's going to make you grow up way faster than you should, it's something like this, right?
Yeah. And he's like finding his voice. He's finding his ground, right?
Yeah.
I loved it. I love this movie so much.
So
Like, I
much.
love this movie
Me
so
too.
much.
And so much more than I knew when I saw it in the theater. I remember I really liked this movie, but just breaking everything down, like you said, I don't know. I just love it so much more. I have a better
Yeah.
understanding of all the little details, right?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I'll watch it again because I did find it really disturbing, but I also loved it,
Yeah,
right? Like, I really, really loved it. So a couple of like little things, little tidbits. Would you like to hear them?
sure do.
So the screenplay was written by Scott Deckerson and C. Robert Cargill. It's based on the short story by Joe Hill, which is Stephen King's son, in the book 20th Century Ghosts. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
And then C. Robert Cargill wrote Sinister and Sinister 2 and VHS 85. There's a segment in VHS 85. Did you like the VHS movies? I love
I
them.
love them. I know that it's an anthology. So I know that I can't remember which one is which now because they all kind of blend together, but I know I love the majority of those segments. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, they're great. They're great. So Deckerson is quoted as saying, so basically he grew up in Denver, Colorado, and he's quoted as saying, when I was 8 years old, my friend next door came knocking at my front door and said, somebody murdered my mom. The mother of my friend next door was murdered, and there was a lot of domestic violence, even in my own home and in the homes of a lot of these kids that I knew. He's also quoted as saying things in my childhood that were too dark to put in the actual film. Like, there was
Holy
things from
shit.
his childhood that were too dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's a
And
oh, go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, like, just a couple of influences. He was influenced by The Devil's Backbone, it's a 2011 film, and The 400 Blows, which is a 1959 film.
Nice. There's a
Mhm.
really fun Screen Rant article that I'll link in the show notes. It's about an interview with the writer, C. Robert Cargill, about the origins of the grabber's mask, which also touch
Oh,
on that a
okay.
little bit of with
Mhm.
Joe Hill, which I really liked.
Mhm, mhm.
They also mentioned that in that 2004 short story by Joe Hill, the killer was actually a clown, which at the time
Yes.
he was thinking of John Wayne Gacy, which definitely adds
Mhm,
up, right?
mhm. Yep.
But because of the relatively recent success of 2017's It, and because he didn't want to seem like he was just, copying his father or
Mhm.
something, Joe went to Cargill and Derrickson with an alternate idea inspired by magicians of the 30s and 40s, where they would do one part of the act normal and then come back as the devil to do other tricks. So
Yeah.
they loved it. And then this part of the article, I'll just read what it says. It says, in the film, he's asked, talking about the grabber, if he's the one that killed all the other boys, and he goes, no, that was someone else. So each mask represents a different part of the ritual for him and a different aspect of his personality. It was something that Scott had come up with because he was like, well, we've got to get him to emote in some way, and you can't really emote behind a mask. What if he has an interchangeable mask? And depending on the mood of the ritual, he would change the bottom of the mask. So that turned into what is now a fascinating visual representation of his character, or of this character.
Wow, I loved that.
I wanted to know so much more about the mask. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah. No, I love that you deep dove on the mask. That's amazing.
Also, the mask, designed by Tom Savini.
Ooh, we love him.
And
We love
you're
Savini.
ooh,
Ooh, we love Savini.
we do. I did see some people trying to say that um, the random phone being in the basement was a plot hole. And to that, I say, how old are you?
The
Like,
movie's called The Black Phone, okay? If
not
they
only
wanna have it in the
that,
basement, just leave it
Not
there.
only that, but, like, anyone who remembers landlines, it is completely normal to have a landline on every floor of the house, including the basement,
Yes,
because you don't
absolutely,
know.
especially in the '70s?
Yes, you don't know what the basement's gonna be. Is it gonna be a living room? Is it gonna be a bar? Is it gonna be whatever? Yeah, and then you don't have to
Yeah,
run upstairs when the phone's ringing, and you can hear it. If
right.
it's like a workshop, you can hear it down there. I was like, "That's the
Yeah,
dumbest thing I've ever heard," but
that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I will say really quickly, but I'm gonna expand on this in the extended.
yeah.
But Bruce, the paper boy, it was loosely, it's loosely based off of Johnny Gosh. Remember I was we were
Yeah.
talking about that a little bit earlier. Johnny Gosh disappeared on September 5th, 1982, and I wanna say he was the very first child on a milk carton.
Oh my gosh. Oh
Yeah,
my
and
gosh.
I'm gonna go into it more into the extended because I went down a massive rabbit
Did you
hole.
say his name was Johnny Gosh?
Yeah.
And I just said, "Oh my gosh," and then I was like, I did not. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
But
I thought it was
that's
funny.
horrible. Yeah, definitely
Yeah,
we'll talk about
awful.
that in the extended.
Mhm.
I do wanna say, what do you think why do you think Finn could hear? Why was he the only one? Do you think he just has his mother's
Yeah.
skills, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think him and Gwen have some kind of connection to, the other side
Yeah,
or, premonitions or what have
yeah.
you. Yeah,
I
I
think
think
that's
so.
the easiest explanation to it. It is interesting
Yeah.
that the grabber could also hear it, but ignored it. But I wonder if that's just because he's the one who killed those kids, so they're like, you know,
Yeah.
trying to get his
Yeah.
attention type thing?
Yeah, yeah, maybe.
I
I'm not
also
sure.
really do. We started to talk about this a little bit earlier in the episode, but I really appreciate about this movie that there are no scenes of child abuse with the grabber.
Mhm.
The one with
Me
Gwen and
too.
her father was bad enough, but with the
Mhm.
grabber, like we mentioned earlier, everything's implied and you know what they're talking
Mhm.
about, and it's already upsetting
Mhm.
enough that you don't have to be explicit or demonstrate any of it, right? And
Yeah.
I just think that's such great storytelling. And
Agreed. Yeah, I'm with you 100%.
it makes me think of the movies that I refuse to watch because they're so unnecessarily graphic and gratuitous, particularly
Mhm.
with sexual assault and even more specifically against women, because there are a lot of movies like that, right?
Yeah,
And we've talked
for
about
sure.
this before in an extended. I don't think we've ever talked about it in the main episode, but I won't get off topic with that too much because we're going to wrap this up in a second and go to Patreon. And I have a lot to say about that, and I don't want to take another hour of this episode, right? But my point is, I really appreciate the storytelling in this movie, and that it doesn't need to rely on shock value um,
Mhm.
to get its point across and to be scary.
No, and I also don't think they're heavy-handed either.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah,
I find a lot of shows now, movies can be a little bit heavy-handed in explanations, and I like that they didn't really do that
for
here.
sure.
You just had to
Yep.
watch it and pay attention.
Yeah, so let us know what you think about the movie, about the episode. We'd love to hear from you on YouTube. We do have a YouTube at Chainsaw Girls Pod, right? All of it. I should know this by now,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
um,
TikTok, Instagram, Chainsaw Girls Pod.
there
You
you
can
go.
even email us, chainsawgirlspod@gmail.com if you wanna, I don't know, suggest a movie or just say hello.
Yeah, we also have a Patreon, and you can follow our Patreon for free, by the way. We used to, and we're going to get better again at posting our lineup once we have
Mhm,
that solidified for you.
mhm.
We're kind of going week to week by now, so that's why we haven't really been posting that. However, you can follow for free, and we also shout out our top tier patrons every episode. I don't
Heck
have it up right now,
yes.
so give me a second.
No worries, I don't either.
I'm trying to click it, and it's like taking so long. I'm like, I got it, I got it.
We're gonna do it, and it's gonna be
Active.
great.
Boom, boom. All right, got it. We have Jason M, Jeremy M, John M, another John M, Devin C, David G, Jonathan W, Rob V, David T, Heather D, Franchise Driller, Millie C, Adrian G, Chris S, Alexis T, Adam VL, and James C. Thank you so much. We
Whoa.
love you and appreciate you as always.
Oh, we appreciate you so, so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay,
Okay,
bye.
bye.